Howdy everybody, and welcome back to the Chip and Dale tutorial. So last time we gave you the power of time so you could pause your characters. This time we will upgrade our camera a little bit so that we can actually reach the end of the level now. So let's get cracking. To get started, we are going to want to open up a couple of different objects here, such as our camera, and we want to make a new object. We're going to call this Object Camera Director. Alright, so what does the Object Camera Director do? Well, in all reality, I should have a sprite for it, but I didn't make one at the time, so I guess I don't have one. But what the camera director should do is, as your character moves along, they can only move in one direction. So the camera needs to know that we want to change the direction the character is moving. So the camera director does that for the camera. So we are going to start it off by adding a little create event. Timer underscore is equal to 0. And a step event. And other user event 0. Excuse me if my voice is a little rough. I've been ill lately, so. Alright, we're just going to here over in the user event, we are going to do object underscore camera dot x underscore direction underscore is equal to direction underscore and instance underscore destroy. So when what we're going to do here is whenever the camera director is on screen, then we change the direction the camera moves. So object underscore camera dot x direction, and that would be what the x direction is that it goes. I think that we might actually need a variable definition. Yes, we need a variable definition as well. Let me do a little zoom in here. Your underscore. Excuse me. Set that to integer and 0. Shoop. And you, I can't scoot you in. Alright, well, we're going to come over here to step, and this will be the majority of the code here. I set this up so that it will only check to see if the camera is on the screen every minute rather than every single last frame, because I figured that would be a better use of resources. But I don't know if it would actually, I don't believe it would have any actual impact on the game if you were to be checking every single frame to see if the director is on screen. So if timer underscore mod sec is equal to 0, then do something. Var underscore view underscore x is equal to camera underscore get underscore view underscore x view underscore camera 0. And we'll do the same for the y. Excuse me. Talking tickles the throat. If rectangle in rectangle. So this is a bit of a collision script here. A collision function, I should say. If a collision is detected, then event underscore user is 0 and timer underscore plus plus. And we need to fill in some variables here. Give me a second here. It's quite a long string because you have to fill in the square x1, square y1, square x2, so on and so forth. So we are going to check if the B box left, B box right. So left, B box go top, B box underscore right, B box underscore bottom. So we want to know if this object is inside of the view. And actually, this function is probably completely the wrong one to be using here. I could probably just use point in collision. So, anyways, so we do underscore view underscore x underscore view underscore y underscore view underscore x plus, and you also want to get the camera's view width, and you could probably do this as like a variable or something to do some optimization. And view underscore y plus camera height. But this works, so that's what's most important, right? If it works, it works. All right, so we have this now. So if we come back into our zone, let me pull it up real quick here. Rooms, zone 0, 0, 1. And we put it into the room. Let's see, what layer did I put this on? For some reason I put it on the enemies layer. Oh wait, that's because that's an enemy. Where is the director? Instances, camera director. Oh, that would be why. Yeah, so come back over here to the beginning of the game. And we are going to put a camera director in right here at the very start. So, zoom that out a little bit so you can see a little bit easier. Come over to instances. And you don't need to be halfway across the screen. And we drag in one of our camera directors to right here. Doesn't really matter where, as long as it's on the screen. And we can define the variable for direction to be 1. And that will tell it that we want to go right. And how does that work? Well, let's come back over to our camera. And let me pull up the camera code here. Make sure that actually that we got this in here. Let's see if global.multiplayer, we're not bothering with that for the moment. So if you remember, our xdir, if it's equal to xdir.right, then we will move to the right, else it will move to the left. And our y direction, if followed out y, this lets us just jump up as much as we need to, because we can jump as much as we want. but we just can't go back down. And I don't think we ever actually do go down in the game, so it's just fine working this way. So anyways, x_right is back here, 1, and 0 would be left. So we've set this to 1. So we could also set it to x_right, I believe. That would actually work too. I'll just leave it as 1. That tells our camera we want to go to the right to start with. And we're going to need another one up here. Make sure about the positioning. Yep. There we go. And this one, variables. Well, we don't need to change it because it's at 0, and that's what we wanted. So 0, and again, gonna need one right here. Tell ourselves to go right again. There we go. So now we should be able to change the direction our character moves. Let's give it a test. Actually, first, before we go do that a test, because this has been annoying me. Title music goes to music. There we go. That way it's not so loud. Alright. As you can see, we can move right. Though I think we can always move right. By default, I have it set up to go right, I believe. Let's hopefully, when we get over here, now we can go left, but we don't go right. Perfect, right? You may have noticed a little hitch when we got to the far right there, where you could actually, where you start going up, how the camera sort of jumped up right there. It does that in the original game too. If you are very careful, you can actually see it happen in the original game. In my version, it happens a little bit more easily, but I figure that's just because I don't have the camera set up exactly the same way they do. But this is the way I came up with. So I'll have a much better system next time we actually do something like this. Though the camera blockers are actually something that are used normally in a lot of games. So especially games where you have a lot of open space and you don't have different rooms for everything. Alright, I think that's, well, that's the camera director, and we're probably around 13 minutes here, I guess. A little bit longer than I expected. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining me, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below the video here, and until next time, good luck with your programming.